Hello, it's Amy with Just a Little Ink. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and today I'd like to share with you a early release from Stampin' Up. It's some products that will be available both in the upcoming January to June mini catalog, as well as some products that are going to be available only while supplies last. These all begin for demonstrators right now during the month of October. One of the perks of being at Stampin' Up! Demonstrator is that you can order things earlier than everyone else. And there is a Stampin' Up! Promotion going on right now to join. Try out being a demonstrator. You get extra products. And one of the perks, again, is that you could add these products to your starter kit right now. But if that isn't for you, something you don't want to try, these products will be available for customers starting November the 1st, again, while supplies last. Some beautiful products. The products that will be available beyond the end of January, because this goes through January 4th, those products that will be in that next mini catalog are the framed florets and the framed florets dies. The first time ever that Stampin' Up! Has named the die set the same as the stamp set. Wonderful. It's been something that's been asked for quite a bit. The other thing that's available, and this is while supplies last, and I forgot to grab the little gems, but there's the framed and festive stamp set. Similar font. Unlike this is photopolymer, this one is a cling mount stamp. And then there's also designer series paper, and it is beautiful paper. I don't think this really does it justice. 12 sheets, 6 different prints, 2 of each. And this is one side. Let me kind of get it fanned a little bit, just to share with you how beautiful this paper really is. So you got 6 different prints, two of each. So, and they're double-sided. Thus, you get a lot of potential for what you can do. Spring, Christmas, birthday, all kinds of options for you there. So I wanted to share that. Again, these items will be available beginning November the 1st. And there's also some beautiful little star gems that are also going to be available. So what I want to share with you today is a Christmas card using the framed and festive. So I'm not going to use the framed florets and the dies. They just coordinate so wonderfully together. And what better thing to make for Christmas other than a fun fold? So I'm going to do a Z fold card. I've shown you these before, but they're so fun. I'm going to add the red and green adhesive back pearls. They're known in the mini catalog that's active right now as festive pearls. Come in a lot of different beautiful colors. So what you want for this, and again, all these items I'll have listed on my blog, justalittle.ink.com, and you can order them anytime, 24 hours a day. If you don't already have them or don't already have a demonstrator, at my Stampin' Up! Website, justalittle.ink.stampinup.net. But you will need a half a sheet of Evening Evergreen cardstock. This is one of our in colors that this will be its last year for being an in color, which is always bittersweet. So you'll need a piece. This is cut 5.5 by 8.5, and we are scoring it. And I'm going to show you the scores on my Simply Scored. I've already done it here, but I want to show you how I do my scoring. You're going to score at 2 1/8 and again at 4 1/4. You also need a piece that's 1 inch, and again by that 8.5 inch length, and you're going to score it at the same scores. 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. Then you need pieces of designer series paper, and I'm using some of that beautiful fitting florets 12 by 12 designer series paper. You need 2 pieces, one that's 2 inches by 5 3/8 and the other that's 2 1/4 by 5 3/8. You'll need a couple pieces of basic white, one for the inside that is 1 inch by one of these wonderful numbers, 15/16, almost 2 inches, but not quite, by 5 3/8 inches. And then you need a couple pieces, one basic white that's 3 by 4 and one cherry cobbler that's 3 by 4, because we're going to cut these ovals here, this oval, twice. And again, I said I would show you how I score this. So I have my Simply Scored, and I lost a marker. So Simply Scored comes with some markers. It comes, I'm going to cover up my thing here a minute, with a scoring tool that snaps into place. And these little markers have a little storage place back behind here. Let me grab another one. I'll have to fish for the one I lost later. Get it all snapped back into place. Well, maybe I think I unhinged it, so we won't worry about that at the moment. But they go in place, so I would mark it at my 2 1/8, and I already have one here, so I'm going to move it down and move it to 4 1/4. And I would line it up. You want it up into the corner so that both this side and the top are hitting. And then I would pull out my score tool and come across and come here and come across. And that's how I do all of my scoring for all of my cards. And it gets out of the way, and I'll fix this later. It does go back on. So that's how I'm going to score. So what I want to start doing first is I want to go ahead and I want to run my 2 pieces through using my scoring, or my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. These will go through almost completely with the mini. The larger one with the hearts and this other one here are a little tricky, and so it's probably best with our full-size Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. But these smaller dies easily fit in the mini. So pull it out. We're going to go ahead and cut those first, actually, and get this out of the way. So I'm going to just run it through twice again. Run this one through, and I put little pieces of washi tape. I've talked before, you can use some of our new, I'm not going to use this, I'll save it for another time. You can use some of our new masking tape that we carry and use that onto your dies to keep them attached. Has a quick release, doesn't stick permanently. Sticky note would also work. I will need this. So again, I'm going to stick the other one on. Have my little 1/4 inch or more gap so that they're overlapped. That keeps them running through the machine. Easiest. Hold on to the center. This is a tiny little booger, and it likes to kind of move around. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close this up. Get it out of the way. And on this one, I won't need this right now, but I could use it later. But I will want the frame. There we go. I'll set this aside onto my dies. And for now, that's the only ones I'm going to be using. So get rid of this. I don't need my plates. Okay. Now I'm going to use the Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I already have it set out so that you know what I do is I attach my stamp on the block, and then I turn it over and I make sure that it's lined up so that it's not crooked. That's the easiest way. What I do is I'm going to take, actually, I grabbed the wrong one. I want to grab cherry cobbler. Get my cherry cobbler out. Open it up, and I'm going to actually go ahead and ink onto cherry cobbler. As long as my color I'm covering up is lighter than what I'm covering, doing it this way actually works really well. I want a two-toned stamp. And so I've inked up Cherry Cobbler. And I can do this two different ways. I can grab out some scratch paper. I can come in with a blender pen, and it's almost the easiest to just get some of this ink off. And what I'm doing is I'm using it to lift that off. And it's okay if it doesn't get it all. And I'm just kind of coming across, scraping it into a scratch paper. What I found is it wanted to bleed through just a little when I didn't do it this way. And then I'm going to come in and do the same thing right in the middle there. Just get this. So I've got a lot of it off. Then I'm going to come in with that Evening Evergreen with my Stampin' Right marker. Remember, Stampin' Right markers have two ends, one that's a writing tip, and the other is a brush tip. And so I want to use this brush tip. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to come along the edge, keeping it off of all the other rest of the stamp. And I'm going to come across the top as well. So I want this other to be an Evening Evergreen, while the little cursive font stays in Cherry Cobbler. Then I'm going to breathe a little onto it to make sure re-moistening anything. And then can line it up on my oval. And it's always more fun when it's on camera, but we'll see how well we do here. All right, like so. And then I get a two-toned Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And then we can get busy folding. Well, I should say almost. We can get busy folding. We're not going to attach just yet. So I'm going to fold along that center score line. This is just like a normal 8.5 by 11 card. I'm going to pull out my bone folder, and I'm going to fold. Then I've got this 2 1/8 inch mark that's going to fold back. So I'm going to pull it back, and I've got like this. I'm going to do the same thing with this little strip. I'm going to fold it in half, and then this piece is going to fold over like so. And I have two pieces. The difference is going to come that my Z's are going to go in different places. So I then have this for the inside. It's going to come up here. Actually, it's not going to come up there. It's going to come here. What I want, though, I could put my two pieces of Designer Series paper on in this manner and leave them with the white berries. Or I could spruce this up a little bit, and I pulled out a Stampin' Blend. This is the Cherry Cobbler, the light of the two. They come in two marker sets. Great value for $9. The light is what I'm going to use. I could use both of them in shade. That's not what I want to do here. I'm going to come in, and I'm going to come in, and I'm going to color I'm going to color all of those white berries. Grabbing all of them here. Come around. And I'll finish all of this up so that we have red berries all across the front. You could make these berries any color, but I just loved kind of livening it up. I think that the white definitely has an elegance about it. Gives me an opportunity as I kind of finish up here to just talk with you a little. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would so appreciate you choosing to do so. make sure when you do that you click on that little bell. That allows you then to get notifications every time I post a new video. I love to see what you're doing, and so I would love to follow along with you as well. But and thank you to all who have already subscribed. It's just, I definitely appreciate you. So I've got those all colored up. Thanks for holding with me just a little bit there. I'm going to then pull out, and you see how it bleeds through on the other side. I'm going to pull out my Stampin' Seal. I'm going to attach the skinnier of the two up on the little flap. Even it all out. And take the larger of the two, and we're going to put this on the flat. So I'm going to come up here on this edge. I want an even reveal, top and bottom. And then this allows me to put a little bit of a message inside my card. You could put another piece on the back if you wanted more room. I'm going to butt it up against the designer paper, like so. Then what I found worked the best was for me to actually put adhesive just on this little folded flap. So I'm going to put some adhesive here, going to come up right against that fold, like so. What I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up. You can put it wherever you'd like. I'm going to go not quite centered. I want it more toward the bottom. So I'm going to put it here. That allows me to make sure that I am straight. Okay. And then I'm going to open it up. And I know I only need adhesive up to about this point. So I'm going to come a little beyond that, like so. Making sure I don't have it anywhere else. Got my Z sitting here. And I can rub a little bit with my adhesive that I got extras on. So like so. So I've got it when it's going to open. You'll see it from the top. And then I can attach my frame. And what I found worked almost best was for me to attach the center part first. And so I'm going to take some adhesive. I have a pinch, so I have a little room there. I'm going to line it up so that it attaches it to that strip. I'm going to make sure I'm straight and centered, like so. And then what worked best for me on the frame was to pull out my liquid glue, my multi-purpose liquid glue, and I'm only going to put some on the ends. And actually, I know that I have a little room on this side, so I don't want it over here. So I'm actually going to put the glue over here. So I've got a little on both sides. And then I can reattach that frame into the two. And I'll know that everything's going to attach. There's enough of it hooked here that a little bit loose here is okay. And that does everything except for, I thought I needed a little more bling. I'm going to pull out my Take Your Pick tool. I love this little liquidy part on the end. I could do some of the cobbler berries. I'm going to pull some of the gold. So what I want to do is I take a gem here, stick one in the middle, and you could put them anywhere you wanted. I'm going to stick them kind of scattered around. And I like threes. If you've watched my videos, you kind of know I do things in threes just to balance. So that is my simple Z-fold card using our framed and festive stamp set. Early release starting November the 1st. Thanks again for joining me. I'll see you again soon.